Welcome to Korean History Channel Behind Palace Walls. This video is a non-fiction content reconstructed based on historical facts and events.
April 1392,
Some scenes may have been dramatized
Seonjukgyo
to
Bridge in
aid viewer
Gyeonggukjeon.
understanding.
A man hiding in the darkness, clutching an iron club. Yi Bang-won, merely 26 years old. His hands are not trembling. Rather, his eyes gleam coldly. The sound of horse hooves approaches. Jeong Mong-ju, the last loyal subject of the Goryeo dynasty, crosses the bridge. "Master Poen!" Yi Bang-won leaps out. And that night, Seonjukgyo Bridge was stained with blood. This was not a simple murder. This was the moment a 500-year dynasty was born. In 1388, Goryeo was collapsing. But there's a truth that history books don't tell. Goryeo didn't collapse simply because the dynasty had grown old. Someone was deliberately bringing it down. The Wihwado Retreat. The story we know goes like this. King Yu ordered the conquest of Liaodong, and Yi Seong-gye opposed it with his four impossibilities theory, but was not accepted. So he was forced to turn back. But there's a story the Annals are hiding. Yi Seong-gye had been planning the retreat for a year already. His confidant Do-jeon was secretly contacting the new literati in Gyeonggukjeon. "When the time comes, will you join us?" This was a conspiracy for a coup. There's an even more shocking fact. Yi Seong-gye knew all too well that the Liaodong conquest itself was an impossible operation from the start. He deliberately accepted the deployment to create justification for turning back. Upon reaching Wihwado, Yi Seong-gye gathered his generals. The rain continues and the river is swelling. Provisions are running out. But records show that May of that year was a drought. It rained for only 2 days. General Jo Min-soo opposed. "We can still cross the river. Provisions are being supplied." Yi Seong-gye replied coldly, "General, you will remain here." This was not an order but a threat. On May 22nd, Yi Seong-gye turned his army around. At the forefront of the 40,000 troops heading toward Gyeonggukjeon were Yi Seong-gye's 5 sons. Especially the fifth, Yi Bang-won, never left his father's side. The 22-year-old youth already knew. This was not a simple retreat but a revolution. Upon entering Gyeonggukjeon, Yi Seong-gye deposed King Yu and enthroned King Chang. But this too was a calculated move. King Chang was nothing but a young puppet. At this moment, one man stepped forward. Jeong Mong-ju. Jeong Mong-ju was Yi Seong-gye's old friend. They had fought Japanese pirates together, drunk wine together, and recited poetry together. But Jeong Mong-ju noticed Yi Seong-gye's ambition. "General Yi, what are we trying to do?" "We're trying to set Goryeo right." "No, we're bringing Goryeo down." Their relationship began to fracture from that day. Jeong Mong-ju moved to restore the legitimacy of the Goryeo royal family. He enthroned King Gongyang, a collateral member of the Wang clan, but still legitimate royalty. Jeong Mong-ju thought, now Yi Seong-gye will step back. But Yi Seong-gye did not step back. Rather, he seized power more openly. He took control of military authority nationwide and undermined the economic foundation of the old power structure under the pretext of land reform. Yi Seong-gye's sons were more radical. Especially Yi Bang-won kept whispering to his father, "Father, the time has come. Establish a new dynasty." But Yi Seong-gye hesitated. He was a military man. He knew that while the world could be won by the sword, it could not be held long without legitimacy. In early 1392, the confrontation between Jeong Mong-ju and Yi Bang-won began. This was not a simple political opposition. This was a collision of two worldviews, a battle between loyalty and revolution, principle and practicality, past and future. Jeong Mong-ju moved quietly but meticulously. He persuaded King Gongyang, "Your Majesty, we must check Yi Seong-gye, divide his military power." King Gongyang was afraid, but he trusted Jeong Mong-ju. Jeong Mong-ju secretly investigated Yi Seong-gye's faction officials. He collected evidence of corruption and began eliminating them one by one. Jo-jun's confidant was exiled. Namyun's brother was dismissed. Yi Seong-gye felt the crisis. He retreated to his private residence, citing illness. But this was not a retreat but a regrouping. Someone came and went to his residence every night. It was Yi Bang-won. "Father, Poen is trying to eliminate us." "Poen is my old friend." "Was, father, past tense." Yi Bang-won was frustrated with his father's indecisiveness. He decided to act himself. Yi Bang-won visited Jeong Mong-ju. and sang the famous Hayeoga. What if this way? What if that way? What if the vines on Mount Mansu are entangled? We too shall be entangled like this and enjoy 100 years. This was an offer of reconciliation. No, an offer of a deal. Join us. I will guarantee your position in the new dynasty. Jeong Mong-ju calmly replied with Dansimga. Though this body die and die again, 100 times over, it turned to dust. Whether my soul exists or not, how could my single-hearted devotion to my Lord ever fade? This was a refusal. No, a declaration of war. Yi Bang-won knew, as long as Jeong Mong-ju lived, a new dynasty was impossible. But eliminating Jeong Mong-ju was not easy. He was a scholar respected by the people and a prime minister trusted by the king. He could not be eliminated publicly. Yi Bang-won planned meticulously. First, he tracked Jeong Mong-ju's schedule. Jeong Mong-ju entered the palace every week and returned to his residence in the evening. Seonjukgyo Bridge was on that route. Yi Bang-won gathered assassins, Jo Yong-gyu, Yi Du-ran, and others among his confidants. But Yi Bang-won told them, "I will do it myself." His confidants were shocked. "If you do it yourself, young master, there will be traces. That's why I'm doing it myself. This is not an assassination. This is the beginning of a revolution. Someone must be covered in this blood." Yi Bang-won was 26 years old, but his eyes already had the look of an aged power holder. On the evening of April 4th, Jeong Mong-ju left the palace. That day he had a long conversation with King Gongyang. "Your Majesty, it's time to eliminate Yi Seong-gye. Give me military authority." King Gongyang hesitated but finally consented. Jeong Mong-ju was pleased. He thought he could finally save Goryeo. He mounted his horse and began crossing Seonjukgyo Bridge. Someone leapt out from the darkness. "Master Poen!" Jeong Mong-ju stopped his horse. "Who is it?" "It's Yi Bang-won." Jeong Mong-ju realized everything in an instant, but it was already too late. The iron club struck Jeong Mong-ju's head. Once, twice, 3 times. Jeong Mong-ju fell from his horse. Blood stained the stone pavement of the bridge red. "Why are you doing this?" "Bang-won." Jeong Mong-ju spoke with his last strength. Yi Bang-won did not answer. He simply struck the iron club down once more. Jeong Mong-ju collapsed. It was the moment the last pillar of the Goryeo dynasty crumbled. Yi Bang-won put down the bloodied iron club. His hands trembled, but his voice was resolute. "Master, forgive me, but for the new era, you had to disappear." Yi Bang-won turned and disappeared into the darkness. Only Jeong Mong-ju's corpse remained at Seonjukgyo Bridge. The next morning, Gyeonggukjeon was in an uproar. "The prime minister has been murdered." King Gongyang was in shock. "Who dares?" But the king already knew. Who did it? The court suspected Yi Seong-gye. Yi Seong-gye eliminated Jeong Mong-ju. But there was no evidence. Yi Seong-gye had been at his residence all night. Numerous witnesses testified to this. Yi Bang-won also had an alibi. He said he was drinking with friends. The friends testified, but everyone knew. This was the work of the Yi clan. Thousands of people gathered at Jeong Mong-ju's funeral. They wept. A loyal subject has died. Now Goryeo is finished too. Yi Seong-gye also attended the funeral. He shed tears before Jeong Mong-ju's coffin. "Poeon, to have to send you off like this." People who saw Yi Seong-gye's tears said, "General Yi surely didn't know. This must be Yi Bang-won's independent action." But the annals record differently. Immediately after Yi Bang-won killed Jeong Mong-ju, he ran straight to his father. "Father, it's done." Yi Seong-gye pretended to be surprised. "What have you done?" "I've eliminated Poen." "What have you done?" Yi Seong-gye struck Yi Bang-won's cheek, but strangely, his hand had no strength, and he soon quietly asked, "Are you certain?" "Yes, father." "Evidence?" "None." "Alibi?" "Perfect." Yi Seong-gye let out a long sigh, and looking out the window, he said, "There's no turning back now." "There was no turning back from the beginning, father." History did not record this conversation, but circumstances prove it. Exactly 3 months after Jeong Mong-ju's death, Yi Seong-gye ascended to the throne. It was too fast, an impossible speed without preparation. There's an even more shocking fact. On the very night Jeong Mong-ju was killed, 37 officials of Jeong Mong-ju's faction were arrested simultaneously. This was not a coincidence. This was a planned purge. Jeong Mong-ju's death was a signal. Goryeo is now finished. A new era is coming. The new literati began to move. Jeong Do-jeon stepped forward. We must now carry out the dynastic revolution. Jeong Do-jeon was a theorist. Unlike Jeong Mong-ju, he was a realist. He knew Goryeo was already dead. A new dynasty was needed now. Jeong Do-jeon authored Bulsi-japyeon. He criticized Buddhism and promoted Neo-Confucianism. This was not simple religious criticism. This was the work of undermining Goryeo's spiritual foundation. Joseon carried out land reform. By implementing the Gyeonggukjeon system, he destroyed the economic foundation of the old power structure. Namyun seized military power. The armies across the nation came to follow only Yi Seong-gye's commands. Everything was ready. On July 17, 1392, King Gongyang was deposed. The king did not resist. He could not resist. The moment Jeong Mong-ju died, everything was already over. Ministers nominated Yi Seong-gye. General Yi, ascend to the throne. Yi Seong-gye declined 3 times. This was ritual, a play everyone knew. I am inadequate. If not you, General, who will rule this nation? Give me time to think once more. The people are waiting. Finally, Yi Seong-gye ascended to the throne. It was the moment the Joseon dynasty was born, but there was no joy on Yi Seong-gye's face. Throughout the enthronement ceremony, he only looked out the window. His gaze was directed towards Seonjukgyo Bridge. That night, Yi Seong-gye drank alone and muttered, "Poeon, perhaps you were right." The 500 years of the Joseon dynasty began, but the beginning was not beautiful. It was a beginning stained with blood. Yi Bang-wan is said to have been haunted by nightmares for the rest of his life after killing Jeong Mong-ju. Even after becoming king, whenever he passed Seonjukgyo Bridge, he would dismount and walk. Ministers asked, "Your Majesty, why do you do this?" Yi Bang-wan did not answer. After becoming king, Yi Seong-gye took care of Jeong Mong-ju's family. He did not punish them and even gave them official positions. Was this guilt or political calculation? Jeong Do-jeon became the architect of the new nation, but he too eventually died by Yi Bang-wan's sword, the first strife of princes. Revolution devours its children. Yi Bang-wan eventually became king. He was King Taejong. He established strong royal authority. But the list of those executed for his sake was endless. Brothers-in-law, meritorious subjects, even his own son. Joseon lasted 500 years. It bloomed with brilliant culture and produced excellent kings. Great rulers like Taejong and Jeongjo emerged, but at the beginning of it all was the blood of Seonjukgyo Bridge. History is the record of victors. The Annals of the Joseon dynasty recorded Yi Seong-gye as a sage king and Yi Bang-wan as a hero. Jeong Mong-ju was recorded as a loyal subject, but at the same time portrayed as a stubborn conservative who could not read the times. But we ask, was it really so? It is said that red stains still remain on the stone pavement of Seonjukgyo Bridge, stains that have not faded even after 600 years. Historians say that's just discoloration of the stone, but people believe it is Jeong Mong-ju's blood. Revolution is not beautiful. A new era demands blood. Behind the brilliance of Joseon's 500 years was the darkness of Seonjukgyo Bridge. History repeats itself. Even today, somewhere, someone dreams of revolution, and someone tries to maintain loyalty, and history will choose someone again. Thank you for watching. We'll return with more fascinating stories and intriguing topics. Behind Palace Walls, thank you.